from RFN Studios, this is Radio Free Norfolk. As many of you know, after winning the popular vote but losing the federal Conservative leadership, Leslyn Lewis has adjusted her sails towards Haldimand-Norfolk. She is intelligent, she is educated, she is hardworking, she is well-spoken, she represents a huge step forward for women and minorities within the Conservative Party, but she is not local, and some more centrist conservatives and Haldimand-Norfolk residents are concerned about her socially conservative values and how far she is willing to push those values in her politics. She says she would ban sex-selective and coerced abortions and end international funding for abortion services because she believes in, quote, making sure we are not imposing our colonialist views on countries in Africa by funding overseas abortions with taxpayer dollars that they don't care to have funding for. She says she won't be marching in any pride parades, but also says she would not change gay marriage laws. However, she also encourages MPs to have free votes on matters of conscience. We spoke with former Liberal MPP of Brant and Speaker Dave Levac about Leslyn Lewis being parachuted into Haldimand-Norfolk.
And the Conservative showed what they had to go through in order to get where they wanted to be with Aaron O'Toole. And I think Peter MacKay made a couple of mistakes. And I think what happened was Miss Lewis ignited another side of the party that the centrists didn't want to be ignited, but she ignited it. So there's going to be some interesting stuff right here in Haldimand-Norfolk.
We wanted to compare this parachuting in to John Tory. In 2007, he lost his seat to Kathleen Wynne, and then he tried a similar move in 2009 by parachuting into the Haliburton-Kawartha Lakes Brock riding, which seemed to be a safe bet since the riding had previously been conservative since Confederation. Yet people chose local Liberal candidate Rick Johnson instead. The people sent a clear message. We want our local representation to be a local candidate.
That's a good sign. I say that with respect to Haldimand-Norfolk and bringing up Lewis. It's a good sign because if politicians believe, and these were backroom people scheming, I can guarantee you John Tory wasn't the main architect of this. He was the guy that said, what do we do? They put their little backroom team together and they contrive stuff, and the people are saying, nice try, we choose. So I think she may be in trouble. And it won't be Liberals, it'll be the Conservatives. And if she has a challenger, the propensity for that would be go away. Well, they'll be satisfied if the nomination becomes the real issue. So here's what's going to happen. The Central Party, the Conservative Central Party, is going to have to keep their hands off if they truly want the system to work the way it should. And I'm talking about this as a generic comment for all parties. Central office should not be telling the riding association who's going to be the candidate in any party. It should be the people, because it comes again full circle with our comments. It's about the people, for Pete's sakes. If you forget it, we'll give you a reminder. And here's the reminder. John Tory, nice try. John Tory, the first time, legitimate. Second time, way too phony. You're out. Rick Johnson probably wouldn't have gotten elected against Laurie Scott if that's not a textbook explanation of how you don't play with the people's vote. That's why Haldimand-Norfolk is going to take a deep breath and make a decision. And it's not going to be the Liberals or the Greens or the NDP. It's going to be the Tories here in Haldimand-Norfolk are going to make the statement. Better for the Tories to make it at a nomination meeting than it would be at the general election.
Turning the tables, we asked Mr. Levac if he felt the same way about Liberal Chrystia Freeland being parachuted into Toronto Centre. His answer? Absolutely.
No, Toronto Centre is the very same thing as Haliburton. It's been Liberal for forever. So, I mean, I think people are beginning to slowly kind of seep their way into, I'm going to take control of this. The Riding Association has a role, and they have to have a role, but the Riding Association should have enough moxie to say, wait a minute, what are you guys doing? What are you doing here? Well, she's going to run. Okay, she said she's going to run here because somebody told her that's the spot to do it because Diane's leaving, and it's a pretty safe Conservative seat. It's been conservative, both provincial and federal, for a while now. Take out Speller, take out Gord Miller, and put the Tories back in and go, okay, safe spot. Why don't you run in Haldimand-Norfolk? Because we want you to be in the party. We want you to get a seat. Riding association, excuse me? When do we get a say? The best say for the Tories in this case would be at the nomination meeting, because the riding association now has a choice. We're going to candidate search, all legitimate. Here's some candidates. I'm going to put my name forward. I've got Toby's people are going to help me. Diane's people are going to help me. Are they going to help her? Maybe. Optional. Nobody's forcing them to, unless the party comes in and says, we need you to get behind her. That'll condemn her, in my opinion. And that's what's going to get the people upset, not the riding associations. They're the ones that are involved in politics. The Tories that are not involved in politics but want to vote Tory, you've just told them, forget it. You don't have a choice. And I would say the same thing as I'm saying with Trudeau parachuting and anyone else that does it. Give me a break. It's not going to happen, guys.
While Leslyn Lewis did win the popular vote in Haldimand-Norfolk in the Conservative leadership race, there is something insulting about the Conservatives announcing the parachuting in of a high-profile candidate and endorsing them before encouraging a local candidate to step forward. This left Mr. Levac disappointed with our MP, Diane Finley.
In terms of the Leslyn Lewis situation here, I think it really sends a message that they think, oh, well, we're just a bunch of dumb hicks, and the more religious, more socially conservative candidate out there for her consolation prize. And it's also an insult to the people of Haldimand-Norfolk to say, well, we didn't think you had a worthy enough candidate amongst your own people, so we're going to send someone in.
I love how you worded that, because you kept saying the people. Here's the problem. I'm disappointed in Diane. Now, why I'm disappointed in Diane is not because she chose. She chose. That's okay. You choose that. But using your position to try to influence people beyond herself, to walk her around and saying, this is the one. You're now saying to the people of Norfolk, you don't have a say. What you're basically saying by doing what you're doing is saying, this is the person you need to vote for. That's not uncommon. That's okay. But it goes back to your comment about, do you really want the people to have that choice? If you want the people to have that choice, shut up. As Speaker, I didn't do a bloody thing. You can't, according to the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Speakers are neutral. So I didn't even go to my riding association. I didn't go to the leaders' debates. I didn't go when Kathleen was chosen. I was allowed to vote, and all I did was vote for the person I thought should be the leader of the party and walk out. No conversations. I didn't go to AGMs. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even go to Liberal events in Toronto when they had them. Sorry, can't go. But now, participating in this kind of thing, I'm out of the game. I wasn't active as Speaker for 7 years. So now somebody says, would you endorse the candidate? Sure, I endorse the candidate. I didn't hold him by the hand saying, everybody, this is it. Because I'll tell you, if the person was a parachute, I wouldn't do it. I don't think parachuting is good. I don't think the rules should say you can't do it. Now I'm saying to that person, you're not worthy to be an MP or an MPP. What I'm saying is, I don't like it. And if you did it, I will fight it. And that's why I'm disappointed in Diane. Not because she doesn't have the right to have an opinion that she wants her to be the next MP from Haldimand-Norfolk, but it's because you're now using your position to try to influence the thought process of the people who should be making up their mind for themselves.
Dave spoke more directly about Leslyn Lewis running in Haldimand-Norfolk.
It's not an insult or a negative comment about her. She sounds like somebody who really wants to do politics and somebody who wants to serve her community. Several questions would go on in my head. You going to move here? Of course. How well do you know the community? Well, Diane's going to teach me, but not very much. I don't know. And it's going to take me a term to at least learn that. But are you going to focus on that, or are you going to focus on Ottawa? This is the backroom stuff that people that are inside of the system, like members or elected members, and everything. This is the stuff that really ticks us off.
As much as Leslyn Lewis may think winning in Haldimand-Norfolk will be a sure thing, she has been campaigning to sell herself here, and that shows she realizes one important thing. It must be the people's choice.
We don't have as much power as we think we do. And Mr. and Mrs. Tim Horton out there are fed up. And I think there needs to be some kind of a comeuppance. There needs to be some type of mild revolution that says, wait a minute, stop doing this And it's got to be the collective that says it, not the party that says it, not the partisans that say it, not the conservatives that say it, or the liberals or the NDP, but the people. You and I, you're a conservative, I'm a liberal. If we agree with this and we want to see that change, I'd love to work with you to say it's time to change this. You know the old expression of evil wins when good does nothing, right? That's so true. And I don't mean that it's evil that she wants to parachute, but I'm just saying it as a parable to teach. If you don't like it, then good, not doing something, endorses it. So until we start standing up like the Riding Association or somebody that wants to talk to the Riding Association to show up at a meeting and saying, wait a minute, whoa, what are you doing? That person doesn't know a tobacco leaf from a marijuana leaf. What the heck are you doing in Haldimand-Norfolk? Well, I have every right to, well, yeah, but goodbye. Nice try. We're taking one of our own. And there's nothing parochial about that. That is an intelligent way to get you as a citizen represented. It's almost a guarantee, almost, because we all know that some politicians aren't that good at representing their people. They go to Queen's Park or they go to Ottawa and have fun there and do their shtick there. And we see it in the States all the time. A lot of the senators don't know crap about what's going on in their state. So in Haldimand-Norfolk's case, you have a choice. That's still the good news, is that they still have a choice. The parachute doesn't have to work because they still need the votes. So whoever the candidate is gets off their duff and sells membership like crazy and saying, do you want somebody parachuted in or do you want to buy one from me?
And a local candidate has risen to the occasion. Albert Marshall, who is also a lawyer, a businessman, and also a farmer. And at the end of the day, local conservatives will have a choice between a local candidate or a parachute candidate. If they don't choose wisely, the conservative reign in Haldimand-Norfolk could come to an end. Mr. Levac also shared with us how he came about his current views on parachuting of candidates.
Some parties, I think most parties, have a leader's prerogative for a certain number of named contestants. I think the Liberals have 7. The Premier can say, you are going to run in Cambridge. You are going to run here. They have 7 of those. In any of the elections, I don't think all 7 were used. I spoke in favor of that one time at the AGM. I spoke in favor of it for a short time, and then I caught myself and I said, wait a minute, this is going against what I talked about in terms of the riding having a say. When I looked at who was appointed, there was some tomfoolery being done at the Riding Association level that tried to negate this person because a few people on the Riding Association hated the person and navigated the chairmanship of the search committee and didn't call the person. So all of that came back to the Premier, and the Premier had to make a choice between letting the people make the decision under circumstances that were fishy or assigning, and they assigned. So I went, okay, unusual circumstances, I think I can buy it.
And at the end of the day,
the common practice should be let the people decide. Don't tell them what you're going to do.
if you would like to have a say in which direction the Conservative Party grows within Haldimand-Norfolk, you must purchase a membership online before 11:59 p.m. on October 6th to be eligible to vote. Time is ticking.